Hi guys and welcome to my YouTube video. It's Baby Lovebug Hauls if you wish to subscribe. Okay, so I've had a few people ask me how I clean out my big tanks compared to my fry tanks, which I've previously covered in a previous video. Now, I don't want to confuse anybody with cleaning out these guys, which is nearly cleaning all the water, compared to cleaning out my big tanks, my main tanks, which is completely different regime. Now, as you can see, mine is got, at the moment, some new ornaments going on. And I'm sure a few of you guys are probably thinking, wow, you know, this had logs in it before, where did all this come from? I have made a few changes. There's shells, rocks, limestone rocks. They increase the hardness of the water, so do the shells. Good for the guppies, they really like hard water. And I have a lot more guppies in there, as you can tell. I have been getting male fry like crazy and popping them in. Okay, so I'll have a quick run through of what I do when I clean out my tank. Now, first of all, I only clean out my tank, say, once a month, about every 4 weeks. I don't clean out my tank every week or every other day like people think. I might top it up with a little bit of water now and again, especially if this bit starts to come down here. I'll just top it back up. But I won't change it out until it's at least been once a month, once every 4 weeks. You know, fish really, in the wild, do you think fish get cleaned every week in the wild? No, don't be so daft. You're overdoing it and you'll kill your fish. Now then, first of all, I take all my ornaments out and I put them aside. I get my bucket and I get my siphon tube. Now, I've made something quite unique to go on the end of my siphon tube. It's a soda bottle, emptied out, and I've put part of the tubing from the top of one of these. I chopped it off and I put it through the bottle, as you can see. I mean, if you want to know in more detail how I made this, then message me and I'll do a video on it, but it's not really that important. So I made this because every time I use a normal siphon on this gravel, it sucks all the gravel up and it's useless no matter what I do. So I made something a lot bigger, so it has a lot more space inside here for the gravel to just sort of move around inside this bottle as I'm moving it around. And it doesn't get high enough to suck it into the bucket, but it does move it around enough to get the dirt out from it. Now, I only do about, say, 2 or 3 bottle whips, a little bit of the gravel at a time. So I'll do from here to here, 1 month. The next month, I'll do from here to here. And the next month, I'll do from here to here. And then the last little bit, and maybe a little bit at the start. You know? So don't do all the gravel in one go. Literally do a little bit, a quarter by a quarter by a quarter every month. Don't do the whole lot. You destroy your bioload. Okay. So, after I've done that and I've siphoned out, say, about 20 litres, not a massive amount, just enough off the top, I then take my little cleaning sponge thing, there you can see that, and I go inside the tank and I do all the walls, the front, the back, the sides. I do everything. Every single square inch of the inside of my tank gets scrubbed. I used to leave the back wall really messy so they could eat off of it, but this caused a lot more problems, I found, than it actually cured, so I scrubbed it off. I also use this to scrub the heater, all the little pieces, all the things that stick to the outsides of my tank. And I take all the ornaments out. I don't scrub the ornaments, I just leave them aside, ready to go back in. I also take the pieces out of my filters. I undo the top on here and I take out all 3 of these. One in the middle is like full of gravel, it's like a bio home gravel sort of, what do you call those? and the sponges in the side ones. But I take all of those out and they get sort of put into the bucket with the dirty water that I've siphoned out, and I clean them all in there before putting them back in my filter. Now after I've done that, I make sure everything's back in its place, everything's back where it should be. I go and get 20 more litres of water, put it back in, and I put treatment in my water that I put back in. I use 2 teaspoons of aquarium salt and a little bit of warm water out the kettle, and I put that in. That helps them greatly. And in the water that I put back in from the taps, I treat it with the normal Aquasave tap treatment. And because I've got limestone and I'm hardening my water, I'm using Easy Balance, which I can't really describe what that does. It's like just a chemical that helps balance out the water when you're hardening water with limestone rocks and shells. I'm sure other people probably know a lot more about the technicalities and what chemicals and what these actually do, but I just know it works. Okay, so I hope this helped anybody that's panicking over fish tanks, thinking, how do I keep them clean, and why are they all dying every time I clean them every week? What's going wrong? Just make sure you don't overdo it, guys. Seriously, fish live in the wild in such dirty conditions. It's just, they don't always look this clean. I have cleaned this for the video, okay? They're not always this clean. Usually there's a good green hue over half of my tank, and I'm fine with that. You know? So it might look perfect to you guys now, but it's not always that way. Okay? Love you guys. Happy bye-bye.